Hey guys, welcome to a new video. In this video, I'm just going to be showing you some of the things that I've been doing to edit a couple of my designs and just talk some business with you guys, explaining why I'm creating this, what I'm doing, everything going on behind the scenes on my personal websites. I have a website right now that is a SEO driven website. It is driven just by Google traffic coming in each and every day to this store. I'm going to start paying for retargeting ads. I do have other stores that are just simply advertising based, but you're watching me slowly edit this image. I'll put an image up of what the actual design ended up being, and for those who want to know, I'm selling it on this specific design on a duvet cover. And the whole kind of premise or the whole kind of ideology behind the sale is that when you buy the duvet cover, you get the two pillowcases included for free. So that's kind of like the whole game plan. And so I created like a little banner for it. And what I'm doing here for my website is that's kind of like the entry point. And I talked about this in the Pinterest ads course. I've talked about this in so many different things. But when you're selling a product, you have to have an in, right? You have to have a reason why somebody's going to buy. And I feel like I could take this moment as I'm editing the design so that you guys can kind of see what I'm trying to say is that a lot of the times, like for example, there are stores everywhere selling pretty much the same thing. And the reality is you're not going to be able to win on price. A lot of people think that you should decrease your price too dramatically to where, you know, you're winning the order, you're winning the sale. But the way I look at it is you're not going to be able to win on price. You're not going to be able to, negotiate a price, whether it be through a print-on-demand manufacturer or whether it be through, you're buying white label products or whatever the case may be. You're not going to be able to win off of price. Nobody's going to come to your store and say, you know what? This product is $20 cheaper, so I'm just going to buy it from here. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of customers who buy based on price, but there's always going to be someone who's going to be able to offer the product at a cheaper price than you. And that's the reality. So one of the things, and I spoke about this in the Pinterest ads course, but one of the things that's super important when you're creating a product and selling that product is you need to have what I call a hook, right? Maybe I'm not the one who calls it that, but the point is you need a hook. And the hook is essentially the point of interest for the buyer. The buyer has to look at the product that's being sold and they say, you know what, I can handle that. I can deal with that. I can order that. And for us, just so happens with this very product that we can offer 2 pillowcases for free. It works out financially. They pay shipping. They pay for the product, and we give them 2 pillowcases for free with every order. So it's pretty cool. The pillowcases are not the same from design to design. Every design is different, so the pillowcases are different. But it does add that little bonus, right? So, for example, I looked at Redbubble's products, and technically we're in competition with Redbubble because Redbubble is, offering pretty much the same product, but they're not offering it with the pillowcases, right? So, obviously our customer might or might not know about Redbubble, but that's not the point. And the point is that our point of entry is SEO, right? And I can make a whole video kind of creating like a diagram describing how traffic comes into the store. But for this specific store, it's an SEO-based store, search engine optimization. Somebody searches for something on Google, they click on the link, they see images around the link, they see all these different details, they click on the link, then they end up on our website. When they end up on our website, 90% of the time, they're at either a blog post or a product-based page. When they're at their product-based page or a blog post, it doesn't really matter. They have now a point of interest. This is the page that they're in, and now they have a product, right? This point of interest is either going to be valid or invalid, meaning they come to the page and they're either going to decide, you know what, I like this or I don't like this. And most of the time, they're not going to purchase right away, right? And that's normal. Like if you have a conversion rate of 7%, you're doing phenomenally well on the internet. So think about that. That's out of every 100 visitors, you're getting 7 customers. Now, you obviously have to do the math from a math perspective. Like, okay, do I have enough money to or do I have enough money to pay for ads, if that's your system. And 7% conversion rate, most of the time you'll do well, assuming that you're not competing on price, obviously. But once again, just driving traffic, and this is kind of what I'm sharing, and that's kind of the strategy that I'm doing with this store. Now, this store is what I call a superstore, meaning it has as many products as possible. I mentioned this in the beginning of this year. I said that I was going to do this, and I've been working on it ever since. So nothing is really changing, and I'm just working on that. A lot of the times, behind the scenes, I'm pushing either on my own blogs or my own websites, or maybe a print-on-demand store or something like that, creating an ad campaign, something, right? And at the end of the day, I think it's very important to be very proficient, very, very well skilled in multiple different angles of traffic acquisition. So whether it be paying for ads, whether it be for doing SEO, using social media, there's so many limited categories, but there's many different opportunities to bring in traffic. And I think you're supposed to at least be proficient in all of them. If you can't, obviously, then that's when you're going to have to pay the price, which is essentially dealing, or forced to be dealing, with companies like Redbubble, TeePublic, etc., which is not necessarily anything wrong with. It's just something that you're going to have to deal with. There's really no negotiation on that. So let's get to the design. So what you're seeing is the first design that I kind of worked on here was almost perfect. It just had like an extra image or extra section in the paw of the tiger. I'll kind of put it up there. And I had to kind of clear that out. Now, the reason why I'm doing it on GIMP as opposed to Luminar Neo is I actually just said, let me do it. Let me show people how to do it on GIMP. I have a lot of videos on Luminar Neo. Well, maybe not a lot, maybe like 6 videos, which is really not a lot. This channel has almost 1,000 now. So, but I figured, let me show you guys how to do it a different way on GIMP. Now, GIMP is free. GIMP is a free software. I would advise most people use Luminar Neo instead. It's so much faster, like insanely fast. I think this design took like 20 minutes or maybe like 15 minutes to finish. But on Luminar Neo, it could take you maybe a few seconds, to get done. So it's really a lot simpler, a lot easier to use on Luminar Neo. And I actually created a bunch of videos on Luminar Neo before. So I'll leave those videos in the description box down below if you want to check it out. I'll leave a link in the description to Luminar Neo, the cheapest place you can get it. There are different licensed sellers who do sell Luminar Neo. So I'll leave the links in the description box down below. But that was the first image. The second image was a pretty similar image that I created with AI, and you could kind of see when it comes up, if it's up already. I'm not sure because I'm commentating, but the back paw was a little jacked up, and there was like an extra kind of leg appearance kind of thing. So I had to clear that out, and I also did it with GIMP. Now, either way, I had to use Luminar Neo because I was upscaling the images. And so I've spoken about this before, but I'll say it again. For me, upscaling is not a option. I have to upscale. Like, it's not even a question. The reason why is you guys got to think about it this way. If I'm expending resources, and when I say expending resources, this is print on demand, right? So I have to pay for the item. That comes out of the cost of my pocket, right? And if the customer decides they don't want the product, I mean, I'm going to have to refund, or else my, reputation is going to go bad, So if the product comes to the customer and the customer doesn't want the product because it looks ugly or whatever the case may be, or wasn't printed properly, that's my fault, right? So I have to deal with that. But a easy way to eliminate that is just upscaling the image so it has enough DPI to be printed properly on the image. And trust me, I've been there before where the image didn't have the proper DPI and I had to bite the bullet. I was screwed. Not fully, obviously, because I have other sources of income and other things taken care of for me. But I remember very, very clearly running an ad, getting success on the ad, and then weeks later, getting maybe about at least 60% of people messaging me asking for a refund because the DPI was all messed up. The image looked blurry. It looked out of whack, and it wasn't what they were advertised to. So 100% I was going to refund them. And the thing with that is luckily, I knew what I'm doing from an advertising standpoint, so I could always acquire more customers. But the problem with that is like I said, it's wasted opportunity, it's wasted money. So to make the whole connection here, the reason why I'm upscaling is so that the image is printed properly from the manufacturer's end, right? The manufacturer is just going to take the data and print it. They're not going to call me up and say, hey, just wondering, this image looks a little blurry. Do you want us to fix it? They don't give a damn. They're going to print it. As long as they're getting paid, they don't care. And the way they get paid is from me. They don't get paid from the customer. They get paid from me. So that makes it a little bit different with something like a Redbubble or a TeePublic or whatever, is that, yeah, my wallet's on the line. My money's on the line. So in every Notion, whether I'm paying for ads or I'm not paying for SEO and the SEO is taken care of, regardless of the situation, there's still money coming out of my pocket. And it's even worse with advertising, because then you're definitely going to be in the hole. So really what it comes down to is making sure the product is as close to perfect as possible when it goes up on that website. Once it goes up on that website, it's free game. The customer is going to buy. Once the customer buys, I fulfill the order with my wallet, my money. I wait for the transfer of money to come from the customer to my bank account. Then the manufacturer receives my money very early, which, immediately when the order is placed effectively, and then they focus on printing the product and sending it out. So that's kind of how it goes. There's nothing crazy about it. But yes, I've been there, like I said, where the image was not high quality and it didn't, go right. And, just things you have to learn along the process. There's nothing crazy about it. Everybody's going to have learning lessons. Everybody's going to take losses. Everybody's going to go through things like that. The best thing you could do for yourself is just not get too down on yourself and try to look forward to the positive. And honestly, in a situation like that, no matter how much money you lose, there's still positive situations. A very positive situation is you can look at it and say, well, yeah, I actually conquered the market. I figured out how to generate sales. Now I could do this over and over and over again. The easy part is creating the images, right? So that's the easy part. The hard part is getting the customers. And if you already got the customers, then you know what you're doing. But like I said, if you're watching this video, you probably won't have to go through that, I guess you could say, learning lesson, right? That costly learning lesson, which just make sure the image is upscaled, it looks proper, and it's going to be printed proper on the product, especially before you start running ads. Maybe even try to order some products locally to you. Once again, that's a mistake that I did not do, but that was way in the beginning of my print-on-demand journey. So here we are, different times, lesson learned, and everything's going well. So I upscaled, I think the second image, I upscaled it to like over 10,000 pixels. And like I said, I use this all with Luminar Neo, so I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. And yeah, that's really pretty much it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and peace out. Bye.